If I'm right about you, bro, you're currently trying to achieve something in your life, and you're trying to improve yourself and actually achieve some of your goals, escape the 9 to 5 life, maybe to retire your parents, get financial freedom. You're on this journey, but for some reason, you have a couple weeks or months at the top, you feel like you're on top of the world, you're confident, you're crushing your goals, you're doing your daily tasks, you're being disciplined, you're going to the gym, you're doing the work. But then one day you wake up and you've fallen back down to rock bottom. You start scrolling again, you start eating junk food, you might plug your PS4 back in and start playing video games again. And you get stuck in this cycle for a while until one day you wake up and you're back on top again. You're confident, you're thriving, you're feeling masculine, full of testosterone, you're doing your work, you're going to the gym. Then one day you wake up and you've fallen back down again. And this cycle continues to repeat again and again and again. And it's the one thing stopping you from achieving what you want in life. Because you know if you decided to stay in that confident state where you're positive energy, you're going to the gym, you're doing your work, you can guarantee your goals are going to be achieved. You feel like there's something inside you that just is forcing reality to bend itself to your will, and your goals are almost impossible to not achieve if you stayed on that positive energy for long enough. There's a reason why that happens. And it's effectively because you've got an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other. And this devil, he is always going to try to bring you back down to where you originally were. And this devil, if we had to give it a label, it would be your old identity. Because when you're on this journey that you're on, when you're trying to change yourself and improve yourself, you've got two people. I want you to view it like this. So this is you before you start your journey to entrepreneurship, or of entrepreneurship. And this is the person you're trying to become. Obviously, there's a gap between it, and right now you're in this gap. I hope you can see that alright. Right now you're in this gap. When you start making progress in life, your old identity, the old you, does not want you to change because it is comfortable. And you will always try to stay in your comfort zone. So when you start making progress, you're walking along, your old identity is going to try every single thing in its power to self-sabotage you and bring it back so you don't make progress, because your identity doesn't want you to change. That's the simple reason as to why you keep falling off. It's your old identity trying to bring you back to what you were, almost, because you're in a comfort zone. Simple. Now, I don't really want to talk about why this happens. I actually want to give you the solution as to how to solve this. So, the best way to describe the cycle that you're currently in is with this graph. Oh, this pen's dying. I'm going to have to switch to a red pen, and you're just going to have to deal with it. So, your life, it could be described, or the cycle of your life could be described with this. You'd argue that this is an accurate representation of the cycle that you're currently in. You're at the bottom, you're at rock bottom, you're scrolling, you're busting nut every day, you're eating video games, I was about to say, you're playing video games, you're eating junk food. Then you start working on yourself, you start coming up and up and up, and this is where you feel on top of the world, you're confident, you feel like your goals are achievable, you've got full of self-belief and faith, you're putting the work in, you're going to the gym. You get to the top, and then you start falling down and down and down, and you're back to your old self. You're scrolling, you're playing video games, you're eating junk food. Yeah? Sound about right? I'm sure it does. Well, first things first, I want you to understand that this happens in every single thing in life. It's not just your life, it's every single thing in the universe. It's something called homeostasis. If you listened in school, you'd understand this in biology. Homeostasis. It's effectively every single thing is going to go up and down around its equilibrium. This is the equilibrium state. For example, your internal body temperature, this is what you will have learned in biology. Your internal body temperature, I think it's meant to be around 36. The average is 36. So this line right here is 36 degrees. If you start getting too hot, obviously you're going above the line, you'll start sweating. And the reason you start sweating is your body trying to cool you down so you can get back to here. Or if you're too cold, your body will start shivering to try and bring your heat back up to equilibrium. Simple as. Or, for example, the tides in the ocean. It will go up and down the beach until it will sit still on the shore quite a bad example. I don't know how I've come up with that one, but I'm sure you understand. This is the tide coming out, this is the tide coming in, tide coming out. I'm sure you understand. Okay, so I'm going to give you this nice and simple. Right here, these are your standards. You will do absolutely everything to not drop below these standards. Let's say when you're on top of the... Oh, no, okay. This is your standard. This is one thing that you will not break past. This is, even if your life is an absolute misery, this is something that you will not break past. So let's say one of your standards is to not have any dirty plates or empty glasses in your bedroom. That is a standard for you. If there's dirty plates or empty glasses in your bedroom, you'll be experiencing cognitive dissonance. You'll hate yourself until you clean your room. Agreed? Or let's say another standard is you at least doing half an hour of work every day, or trying not to scroll on TikTok as much, having a 2-hour screen time maximum. That's your standard, and you'll do every single thing to not break past it. I'm sure you can agree with that, and this quote describes it perfectly. This is a very important quote, by the way. I want you to remember this. You will do nothing to achieve your goals, but every single thing possible to not breach your standards. So no matter how awful your life is, you will not break past this point. Whether that's, you're still going to, even if you're in a rut, you're still going to go to the gym, you're still going to put a bit of work in, you're still going to try eat healthily. Just so you cannot break your standards, you will do nothing to break your standards. If you look back on your life right now, you can probably tell times where, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Even if I was in a bit of a rut, I still kept my room clean. Okay, this guy's right. I will do nothing to break my standards. Because it puts you in a state of cognitive dissonance, and when you're in cognitive dissonance, you'll do everything to get out of it. And I remember before I actually managed to leave my job off of online money, I trade, by the way. That's how I managed to leave my job. That's how I'm managing to live, pretty much. Live off trading. I worked in a kitchen, and I was mainly a dishwasher. So I would spend 9 hours every single day washing dishes. And I actually, once I learnt this information, I actually noticed it inside my job. So when I was washing dishes, it was a lot of the time extremely busy. And when it started getting busy, it started getting up the wall. There were plates everywhere. There were pots and pans and shit. I would go into absolute graft mode. I'd be fully motivated, and I'd be in so much pain that I would work so hard just to clear it. So let's say at this point, this is when it was up the wall completely. It was a shithole on dishwash, and there was so much shit on there, and I had so much to clean. This was this point, and this was a standard. I would not let it break below this. No matter how many people were bringing shit in, I would not let it get below this. And I would work as hard as I possibly could until I got it clear. And getting it clear was this point, but I never got it fully clear. I got it to the point where I was like, okay, I'm happy with this. If there was a couple plates there or a couple teapots or whatever, I wouldn't be too bothered. And that was this point, and that's when I started getting complacent. That's when I was like, okay, I can sit back and relax a bit now. And then it started falling, it got dirtier and dirtier until it got to this point, and so on. Now, I've explained this graph enough to you. I'm sure you understand it. This line is extremely important, and I'll come back to it in a second. Firstly, I want you to understand that every single... I probably should have kept that, but... Alright. This is a completely emotional cycle. And there's 4 main emotions that you'll experience during this. So there's pride. There's comfort. There's anger. There's drive. And bosh. So, doesn't matter. Can you see that well? I'll have to speak like this. So the graph here, bosh. These 4 emotions, it might not be the 4 emotions for you, but these are just 4 general emotions. They all have the same kind of principle to them, whatever emotions that you're feeling. When you're at the top of the cycle, pride occurs right here. Because you're proud of yourself. You're going to the gym, you're putting the work in, you're eating healthily. You have every single reason to be proud of yourself, alright? And then pride obviously leads to comfort. This is when you start getting comfortable. So you're like, okay, I've done a lot of work, I've been going to the gym, I'm just going to have a rest day. I might order a Domino's, have a bit of a cheat day, maybe play some video games. You start getting a bit comfortable because you're so proud of yourself, okay? Then you start getting more and more comfortable and you drop down all the way to here. Understand? Can you see that well? You can see it well enough, I think. Right here is anger. This is when you start getting angry at yourself. Because you're thinking, I was on top of the world, I was so confident, I was doing the work, I was going to the gym, I was eating healthily, but now I'm in a rut again. I've just relapsed on fucking NoFap. I've just broken my 365-day NoFap streak. What am I doing in my life? Why am I eating this Domino's right now? Why am I playing video games? Why have I got 4 hours screen time? You start getting proper pissed off at yourself. And obviously, anger, it turns into drive. You start getting so angry you're going to sleep at night. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to get back on it. Tomorrow I'm going to go for a run at 5 in the morning and do 4 hours of deep work. And that's when drive occurs here. Drive. Comfort and pride. Do you understand that? I hope you can see it well enough. Let me see if this light makes any. Oh, no, not really. It's getting dark outside now. But either way, I just want you to understand that it's a cycle of emotions, but I'm going to nice and easily tell you how to break it right now. Let's kind of stain my whiteboard. That's a little bit annoying. So, let's draw it out once more. Getting tired of drawing this thing now. So, as I said earlier, this is your floor, or your standards. Floor. I think I've written that in the worst possible place. Yeah, I have. But either way, that just says floor/standard. This is something you will not break past. Simply, it is the floor. And this is currently your ceiling. That's something that you simply just can't happen to break past. You know that you've got more potential inside of you when you're at this point, but for some reason you simply just can't break past that. A very simple solution is to move this floor to become your new ceiling. So, floor, you move it up to here. So this is now your new floor. Simple. Your floor is now what you were at your peak. Okay, so let's say at your peak you were doing 4 hours of deep work, you were training hard at the gym, you did a 5k run every day, you ate really healthily and you spent no time scrolling on social media. That is now your new floor. This right here, if you change the cycle to your new standards, this right here, when you're in your rut, you're doing 4 hours of deep work, you're eating healthily, you're going to the gym, you're going on a run. Do you understand that? You've set new standards for yourself. That's effectively what it is. But obviously this isn't, right now you're probably thinking, okay, but how do I actually impact this into my life and actually implement it? That's the word I was looking for. How do I actually implement this into my life? Because it's easy enough saying, okay, I'm going to reach my standard, I'm going to increase my standards, but how do I actually do it? Well, as I told you earlier, I said, well, a couple minutes ago, that emotional cycle, the 4 emotions that you feel, pride, comfort, anger, and drive. When you're at this point, obviously I said you feel anger, you feel pain. You need to start feeling this emotion when you're up here. You need to start getting angry at yourself when you're only doing 4 hours of deep work, when you're still going to the gym, or when you're eating healthily. You need to start getting angry at yourself, because then that is going to put you into a state of drive, so you can achieve a little bit higher, you can achieve a new peak. It is that simple. You just need to start feeling angry whenever. Raise your standards, start feeling angry at yourself when you're breaking those standards. So, originally, when your original rut was scrolling on TikTok, it was wanking, it was eating junk food, it was playing video games. Your new standard, your new floor, is 4 hours of deep work, gym every day, going on a run, eating healthily. That's your new floor. then obviously your new peak would be doing 8 hours of work every day. Maybe you'd go to the gym, you'd go on a run, and you'd do boxing. Maybe you would not just start eating healthily, but you'd start filtering your tap water, taking new supplements, or biohacking, or getting better sleep. That would be your new peak. And to actually implement those standards into your life, you set the standards for yourself, you set a higher standard for yourself, which is your original peak, and any time that you are breaching those standards, you are going to be extremely pissed off and angry at yourself that you are not achieving them, because then it will turn into drive and you'll start coming back up. Okay? Understood? And you can just repeat this cycle. This is how you turn your life from a cycle like this to like that. So it's an oscillating cycle where you're going up and down to one where you're just going up. If you constantly start to increase your standards for yourself, then the only way is up for you. I know it's quite a cliche quote, but it's true. The only way is up for you if you do this. Now, I'm going to end the video here, but if you want more educational videos like this, actually teaching you how to improve your life, improve your mindset, become more successful, and actually just become a better person in wealth, health, and relationships, and every single thing that you've ever wished for, then just hit the subscribe button. I'm going to try to drop videos every single day or every other day, so realistically you'd have no reason not to subscribe if you're trying to retire your parents, reach 10k a month, achieve financial freedom, and achieve all your goals, because I'm going to be a stepping stone for you to get there. So I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you subscribe, and yeah, see you then.